This is our shining the light on our community, and we are going to be talking to Brandi Van today, and I am super excited about having this conversation. So, Brandi has been practicing spiritual mediumship for many years, and on a daily basis, she, just like anyone else, um, cooks, cleans, and I'm sorry about the dog, guys. Sorry about that. She cooks, cleans, works, shops, and lives a normal everyday life. And she's been married for 11 years and lives in Philadelphia with 3 dogs. So you can relate to the dog barking in the background. Um, she likes to play volleyball, read, and watch movies. And people don't even know that she's a medium. And we today are going to have a conversation around how developing your psychic abilities can empower you to find your higher purpose. And Brandi, I'm super excited to have this conversation with you. Can you tell us just a little bit about yourself and how you developed your own psychic abilities and what that means to you?
Sure. So thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate it. Appreciate the space for you to allow me to talk about my abilities. So I've had abilities since I was very young, but there wasn't a class and there wasn't anyone to talk to about it. So I was just basically reading books and watching TV shows, and I didn't have any boundaries. The spirit could come to me whenever they wanted. I didn't know what their messages were, who they were for, and so it was very confusing. And then you feel a lot of guilt because spirit's coming to me with these messages, but I don't know who they're for. And then you just kind of feel lost. So eventually, years and years later, I had found a medium who also does mentorship, and they're far and few between. It was very hard to find her. So ever since then, ever since I met with her, my abilities just skyrocketed within like 6 or 8 months. And I had been doing this for years. And so I love that I can now be that person, for other people, and I can mentor them. And it's really just as easy as A to Z. These are the steps. But if there's no book, if there's no class, if no one can tell you what their experiences are, it really makes your journey so much longer than it has to be when you could just talk to someone who's already experienced it and tell you what to do. So yeah, it's been really life-changing to be able to offer this to people.
Wow. So your abilities are hearing messages, right? Is that
Yeah, so I'm mainly clairaudient.
okay?
So for people who might not know what that is, that means I can hear the message more than anything else, but it actually is my voice, but it's not my thought. And so you can imagine how crazy I felt when I was younger, because I'm like, I didn't just think that, but it's in my head. So I'm also clairvoyant. So it almost comes up to me like a home video or a photo album, like different
Mhm.
images and visions. And that's how I'll also get messages. Sometimes I just get like a feeling. I can just sense the person's emotions and energy. So if I'm doing a mediumship reading, I might start talking really fast or do the mannerisms that they did, because I can actually feel that energy.
Yeah. Oh, that's so interesting. I don't want to focus on this too much because I want to get to some of the other things that we want to talk about. I am curious though, was that scary for you as a kid? And did you have to kind of like, when you found your mentor, did that really help you kind of put boundaries around your abilities? And when were turned on and turned off when you were in your off hours, was that something that you
Yes.
had to establish?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was life-changing with my mentor. So
Wow.
really, I mean, just like you would have boundaries with a human, with anyone in your life, you need to have that with spirit as well. So yeah, very much now I have like on hours, off hours, and they change every day because, if I'm not feeling well today, they're not allowed to talk to me. So you just have to really set your intention and set that very clear boundary with spirit like every day.
I love that. And I think that's really helpful for people to hear and understand that you can have boundaries with spirit too. you
Yeah,
know.
and I teach that in my mentorship program. Just act as though you have a brick and mortar shop that has your open and close sign,
That's
and
great.
just have the rules with them as well. Like they know they're not allowed to touch me. You got to also like have like how they're able to interact with you as well. So
Mm,
it's very important to set every boundary possible.
that's really good to know. So explain to me a little bit about how your psychic abilities can actually empower you to find your higher purpose.
Yeah, it's awesome because once you have, so there's different types of psychic. So you could be an empath, you could be an intuitive, you could be a healer. But no
Mhm.
matter what type of psychic you are able to connect with your spirit guides. And once you can connect with your spirit guides, they can guide you and support you with anything in your life. And they want to help us because the more they help us, the more they ascend in the spirit world. So it's like a two-way street. They're helping us, we're helping them.
Right.
But once you can tune into your intuition and ask questions and get those answers, I mean, it really always leads you to your higher path and your greatest good. So being able to, always know that you're going the right way, or ask a question of like, should I go this way? And they either give you a positive or a negative answer. So it's really just a matter of trusting the intuition, trusting your spirit guides, and they're always going to lead you to that higher purpose. And with my mentorship program, I really feel like people who are light workers, who are able to connect with spirit,
Mhm.
it's almost like they have a responsibility to help other people. So not only are you helping yourself, but you're also able to help other people, which I feel like can be your higher purpose just with that, just helping other people. So
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, I love that because it's great that you mention it. I think that too many times there's so many of us that can get stuck on like our higher purpose has to be this big, huge thing. And really, it's just one little pebble creates such a ripple effect for everyone that it doesn't even matter if you consider it small, it really is, nothing is small.
Yeah,
Nothing is
absolutely.
too small, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So is there a way that in your mentorship that you teach people to make that discernment between their own voice versus spirit? Are there different techniques that are used? And is there a sign or something that?
Yeah, there's signs. So basically the program is like, I give them the principles of like, okay, this is what you're learning. So they're going to read about it. And then we do an exercise to work out your psychic muscle. Because you
Mm,
can read about something all day, but if you're not actually actively working out that muscle, you're never going to be able to develop your ability. So we read about it and then we do the exercise. But it's really about, just as you would trust yourself and your intuition, trusting the message, and you'll recognize when it's not your thought or it's not the vision that you created in your mind. And that's how you'll know it's spirit. But it
mhm.
comes so quickly. It's like if you were to ask yourself a question right now to your intuition, if you have a thought in your mind, that's your thought. That's not your intuition. Your intuition is your gut feeling, that it's in your stomach.
Mhm.
And it actually works quicker than our brain. It works quicker than our consciousness. So it's going to come so quickly that's how you'll know it's spirit coming through your intuition. Because if you even think about it, now you know it's your thought and not your intuition, if that makes sense.
Right. It does. It does. And I think that that's a great way to really put it into context because it's not only just a thought, it's a feeling, it's a
Mhm.
body reaction, right? And
Yep.
that informs your mind that this is what it is. So
Yes. Yep.
so you get I'm assuming the practice is how you get really good at that. So you
Yes.
start to
Yep.
understand the difference and know exactly what it is. So you don't question it
Exactly.
anymore. Okay.
Yes. Exactly.
That's
Yep.
great.
And it takes
And
a
then,
lot of practice. Doesn't happen
yeah,
overnight.
yeah, no, I can imagine. I can imagine. I mean, I have my own, um, I'm more clairsentience. So I
Okay.
sense and I also hear. Yet, um, I know when it is actual spirit and not me.
Good.
Just
Very
from
good.
years
Yeah.
and years of doing it. So yes, and I don't practice it in that same way. So once you were really being intentional, I would imagine it really intensifies and gets more focused.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
given that you can develop your psychic abilities and really start getting to a place where you're able to discern very well, is that the path that you start to see what your purpose is when you
Yes. Yeah.
get those
Absolutely.
cues?
Because there's so many different, if you did want to make a career out of this, or if you did want to have, being psychic, your life's path, there's so
Mm-hmm.
many different things. You can be like a death doula, someone who helps someone at the end of their life, have them have a good death. You could
Yeah.
read someone's aura, you could balance their chakras. So it's all about healing. So if you're looking to heal someone and give them comfort, especially if you're a medium like myself, and you're giving these messages from deceased loved ones, so you're giving people some closure. I mean, there's so many different routes you can take. So if you
Yeah.
feel this urge of, I know I have an ability, or I think I do, what do I do with it? And then once you are able to develop it, then you can really see, I mean, your life changes, and you can also change other people's lives as well, because you're going to give them that comfort and healing.
Yes. Okay. Wonderful. And then when you're start recognizing your specialty, right?
Mhm.
That's the marker for your purpose. And that, I'm assuming, means that there's a resonance with you, a feeling of joy. And then what's your favorite thing with your clients that you do that helps them recognize their direction?
Sure. So the biggest thing with my clients is quieting their rational mind and having them
Mhm.
listen to their intuition. So it's this battle of like your rational mind saying, this isn't real, there's no science, there's studies on this, you'll never be able to do this. And to be able to quiet that part of your brain and to really let the intuition come in so that you trust yourself. I think really a lot of my program is teaching people how to be confident and to not doubt themselves and to just trust it. And so that's like a big part of it, because if you have that self-doubt, you're never going to be able to succeed with it. So that's a big part of the program as well, is just like allowing yourself to trust it and quieting that rational mind side.
Oh, wow. Would you say that's like one of the biggest obstacles that people come into the program with? Is that, maybe it's not
Yeah,
an obstacle, maybe it is, I don't know, but is that
yeah,
kind of the number
absolutely.
one?
Yeah, that's definitely the biggest one, because there's always, well, my parents don't think I should be doing this, or, is it against my religion? Or, so a lot of people have, they don't have a like-minded community. They don't have people that are supporting them. So my mentorship program really offers them as well. I have a private Facebook group of all like-minded
Mhm.
communities so that we can talk with each other. And it really just opens up the support system that they've never had before. And that really helps build their confidence as well.
Wow, that's really nice. So how long have you had your program? How long
The
have you
program
been?
just started in January, and
Nice.
it's amazing how many people have gone through that. They don't think they have any abilities, and then and they almost like want to quit. And I tell them, like, don't give up so easily. This isn't going to take overnight. Just like if you were to play the piano or play basketball or whatever you're going to do,
Yeah.
it's going to take some time. It's not going to happen overnight. But again, that's just like believing in them, having them believe in their self. And then once they start getting some validations, then they really start to rock and roll, and they really start to see their abilities grow.
That's nice. Do you see also, when as they're going through that process, that I mean, you're obviously, their confidence is rising, so their self-esteem must be rising and their worth must be rising and all those other great things, right? Do
Yeah,
you see
absolutely.
a
It's
lot with your,
beautiful.
oh, that's
Yeah, it's
nice.
amazing. Yeah. So it's almost like, it's just a beautiful like spiritual journey they're going through. So they're also doing a lot of self-awareness,
Mm,
self-introspection, like, am I self-sabotaging? Am I self-betraying
mm,
myself? So they go through a lot of that. It's a
yeah,
very deep process, because you have to really know yourself very well to be able to know your spirit guide. So it's really a
yeah.
big process of, uncovering who you are, what you want to do in life, and then to be able to connect.
So it sounds like they also have to like examine their value system as well, like what their belief. You mentioned, like, is this okay because of my religious background and all of those things. So you're really diving in deep, it sounds like,
Yeah. It
with
is.
their
It's a
belief
lot of
systems
work.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. What are their core belief system? Yeah, their core values. Because not everyone might be a good fit for this, because you have to make sure that it's a good part of your life, that you're ready for it, that you have time to put into it. So, if someone were to come to me and be like, I'm really stressed out, I don't think this is a good time, then I'm going to agree with them. It's not divine timing, come back
Mhm.
whenever you think you're ready. So I always do a half-hour discovery call, and I ask them those types of questions to make sure they're really, ready to do this dive, because
Mm.
it's going to change their life. There's no going back once you change. And it's
Yeah, once you open the
amazing.
door, right?
Yeah. And it's an amazing place to be, but it is going to change you. So you have to be ready for that change.
Oh, that's fantastic. I love what you're doing. What is your favorite thing about your program that you get to do with your clients?
My favorite part is doing the exercises with them. So, I'll give them the homework, they'll try it at home by themselves, and then they'll come to me and say, I don't think I can do this one. Can you do it with me? And then once I do it with them, and they almost like stop because they don't think they're doing it. And I'll just keep telling them, believe in yourself, just keep trying. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. And then you just start to see like, oh, something changed here for them. And then they start to get so excited because they're like, oh my gosh, I tried this by myself. It didn't work, but just by your guidance, and talking me through it, now I'm able to do the exercise. So that's always like so awesome to me.
That's cool because everybody needs a champion,
Yeah, we
right?
definitely need a coach. Yeah, for
Yes,
sure.
that's right. We do. And so when you do exercises with them, is there anything you want to share around that? Like, can you give us just a small example of what that might mean for someone?
Yeah, absolutely. So someone who is clairvoyant will be able
Mhm.
to see in their mind's eye something. Okay, so let's say I tell your audience right now to imagine a red balloon. And I want you
Mhm.
to do that with your eyes closed or open, but I want you to imagine the red balloon. And then once you see the red balloon, we're trying to see the shape, we're trying to see the color, and then we want to release the balloon up into the sky.
Mhm.
So that's just something to give them an example. And if you're wondering why I'm having them do that, it's not only to get your mind's eye to be more vivid, but it's also that you notice I'm creating this red balloon. So if spirit comes in and gives maybe a body of water, you can recognize, wait a minute, I didn't just create that in my mind. I know this is a message from spirit. So it's a lot of
Okay.
visualizations that you're going to do so that you recognize I'm getting more vivid, I'm able to control motion, and then, hey, I didn't just create that. That must be a message from spirit.
Oh, that's really great because it's different. When I heard you say that, it reminded me of like visualizing during meditation or something like
Mm-hmm.
that. Yet there is definitely a difference when you are experiencing spirit showing you something rather than your imagination, right?
Yes.
That's two different things. So it's really important work that you're doing and helping people recognize what's the difference between you imagining something in your mind and giving it some meaning, right? Versus
Mm-hmm.
spirit speaking to you.
Yep.
So I love
And then
that.
it's the whole next level, right? So now you've got that message, and then it's deciphering what does it mean. So then you need to be able
Yeah.
to ask spirit, just like a conversation you'd have with anyone, why did you just send me that body of water? What does it mean? Who am I talking to? So then you get into the more specifics of finding out what that message is or who's it for.
Yes. Yes. Oh, that's great. I mean, your program sounds really beautiful. How long does your program run for someone?
So it's 90 days. They
Hmm.
have an option of doing one-on-one work, or they can also do a group mentorship program. But I meet with them once a week or once every other week, depending on which, if they
Okay.
could do one-on-one or group. But some people need a little bit longer. So if they want to do like a meeting once a month, and we'll go for 6 months, I'm really flexible because I want to make sure it works with their schedule and that they're going to put the time into it. So I start with 90 days, but if they need me to be flexible, that's fine
Mm.
as well.
Okay, that's really good information. And would you say that, like, I mean, you've already kind of stated this a little bit, you hinted at it a bit around that someone's life is going to change when they enter into your program. One thing that I'm a Reiki master teacher, and when I've taught Reiki in the past, the one thing that I tell my students is that your life is going to shift and you may not know what direction it's leading you towards yet. you aren't really in charge. You just follow it and it starts to reveal itself. Is it that similar kind of experience going through your program to bring their spiritual awareness to messages and guidance?
Exactly. Yeah. So I can't tell them at the beginning of the program, spirit's going to guide you toward X, Y,
Yeah.
Z. I mean, that's,
Yeah, right.
their journey. Everyone's different.
Right.
But it's always a better way to live. I mean, you're realizing that, our consciousness transcends death. Our loved ones are still with us, just in a different way.
Yeah.
You're connecting with the spirit world. So, I mean, it's just it just opens your eyes that we're so much more bigger than just ourselves, and we're part of this huge universe, and we're all connected. And yeah, it just gives you a whole different way of looking at things. And within that, you start to appreciate, you cultivate more gratitude because you realize for all the good things in your life. And even when something bad happens, you start to have this mentality of, what is this teaching me versus why is this happening to me? So you almost are, of course, it's not easy when you're going through something hard, but you will start to look at things differently. Like, what am I learning from this? How is this going to help me grow? So yeah, it just really, every aspect of your life, I feel like will change, and for the better, for the more positive.
Right. So can you give me just a brief kind of summary of what your philosophy is in your work and what it means to you?
So my philosophy is that we are all here to help each other. And I feel like if you can connect with spirit to be able to lead you down that path, to know you're not alone in this world, to know that, you have someone that's a cheerleader for you and they're going to help you on your human path, then why not take their help, right? Because life is hard. We have struggles, we have challenges. And if someone's there to help us and we don't know how to communicate with them, then I'm just like, let's learn how, because, it's not easy. And if someone can help us, why not take their help? And they want to help us. So let them,
And what does that mean to you to bring that to the people that you coach and you work with and run through your program?
It's amazing. I can't even put it in words to describe it. I have this one client who is now an angelic healer, and he was so doubtful of himself, and now he can pray to the archangels and he helps these people get out of the hospital. He has an 80 or 90% validation rate. People who are in hospice are leaving hospice, or they're on their deathbed or in a coma, and they're getting out of the coma because he prayed for them. And it's just something in your mind, and for you to trust that and then be able to change someone's life like that. I can't do that, but I taught him how to do it, so it's just awesome.
Oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. I mean, what a journey this must be for you, and to be able to bring that kind of revelation to people individually, one by one, must be so rewarding. Must be so rewarding.
I feel like that's my mission here, is to just create more light workers. Let's just all become light workers and just raise ascend this earth, So I just feel like that's my purpose for sure.
Oh, good. Well, we are going to have all of your links below, so anyone watching can access you. And we would love to see you come back to our sacred community and be a part of what we're doing over there. So I'll talk to you a little bit more about that. But is there anything else that you'd like to share before we end our conversation today?
So I did just want to let everyone know that if you go to my website, I'm sure you have it on there, brandyvan.com, really easy. I do have a free ebook. If everyone signs up for my newsletter, they're going to get a free ebook. It's called Discover Your Unique Psychic Ability. And it's basically a quiz of let's see what type of abilities you have. And then it tells you what type of psychic you would be if you wanted to become a psychic. So I would love for everyone to sign up for that.
Oh, and go do that, people. It'll be really fun. That's a really great giveaway. Love that. And thank you, Brandi. It was so much fun getting to talk to you. And I love what you're doing, and what a beautiful gift that you have and that you're bringing to other people to help them find their own personal purpose. And I just want to thank you for coming. And everyone, thank you for joining us in our sacred community for shining the light on conversations and that count to us. And our membership is $1 for you to try out and see what we have to offer for you, because we have a variety of different groups that are here to help and empower you. That is our mission, is to empower men and women across the world. And so come and check us out. And we have lovely conversations like this with Brandi, and check out her links below and go get her free offer to you. So thank you everyone for coming, and we'll see you next time. Thank you,
Thank
Brandi.
you.